Hey, how's it going, fight fans? Welcome to Mindful Combat. If you're new to the channel, my name's Rohan, and this is my platform where I do fight sports related content. If you're new here, why don't you help me grow my platform? All you have to do is subscribe to the channel, like the video if you like it, and maybe hit that bell icon so you get notified every time I upload a video. With that said, this is a very interesting fight that I was really looking forward to before the cancellation of all these cards. And it's one that I really hope gets rescheduled. It's the return of Walt after a truly traumatic experience as he takes on veteran and legend of the heavyweight game, Alistair Overeem. Coming into this fight, there's a few considerations. Firstly, for Walt, you got to wonder where his head's at. He went through a horrific and traumatic experience that no man should have to endure with what happened to his daughter. And it really breaks my heart to know that there's people out there that will do stuff like that. But then we do live in a cold world, and as I've been saying in my previous videos, with everything going on in the world, it's really showing just how cold and lonely this world can be. So if you guys need someone, hit me up. With that said, Alistair Overeem finds himself in an interesting position as well, because he's 39 years old and he's been knocked out in his last fight. He's got 18 losses. He's taken many KO losses throughout his career, and whilst he's shown incredible bounce back ability and he's got great durability and he's still got his senses about him, the human body can only take so much punishment, and he can't be doing this forever. So I'm actually very worried for Alistair Overeem if he carries on fighting for another 5 to 10 years and taking the damage that he has been doing, especially taking on dangerous hitters like Walt. The winner of this fight wouldn't necessarily find himself in contention, but with the heavyweight division paying out, they could have found themselves maybe a win or two away from a potential title shot, and that's a very interesting place to be in. With that said, let's go through the tape and break this fight down stat by stat. As I mentioned, Alistair Overeem is 39 years old. That makes him 3 years older than Walt. Now, whilst that don't seem like a significant amount, if you consider how long Alistair Overeem has been around, how much damage he's taken, how many fights he's had, Walt is most certainly a much younger man, particularly when it comes to fight miles, and that's some very real statistics in my mind anyway. Alistair Overeem comes into this fight with a veteran mixed martial arts record of 45 wins, 18 losses and 1 no contest. He fights Walt, who's 13 wins, 7 losses and 1 no contest. There's a vast discrepancy in experience there, and also a vast discrepancy in main event, high level, top notch experience, and that could make all the difference in this fight. Alistair Overeem stands at 6'4", which actually makes him an inch shorter than Walt, who stands at 6'5". What's interesting though is that Alistair Overeem will have a 4-inch reach advantage over Walt with an 80-inch reach as opposed to Walt 76-inch reach, and it's going to be very interesting to see how he utilises that, being the decorated striker that Alistair Overeem is, and Walt being someone who definitely favours the striking. To describe their styles, Alistair Overeem, he's most certainly a striker. He's got very good stand-up, he's got very good skills on the feet, and he's very crafty with how long he's been around. But he can wrestle, he can grapple, he can submit people, he can beat you by ground and pound. He's a very talented, all-round, well-rounded mixed martial artist. Walt, I would most certainly describe him as a striker. I believe he does his best work on his feet, and his game, especially as pertains to his ground game, surrounds or is built around him finding ways to stay on his feet and not get submitted for long enough that he can get back onto his feet. The key wins, now there's going to be a big difference here. Walt, the only real key win for me that stands out from Walt record is his win over Alexei Oleinik. But for Alistair Overeem, he's beaten Fabricio Werdum not once but twice. He's beaten Mark Hunt not once but twice. He's beaten Frank Mir, Junior Dos Santos, Brock Lesnar, Sergey Kharitonov, Vitor Belfort, and more recently Sergey Pavlovich, who I believe is going to go on to become a real contender in the heavyweight division. When we're talking about issues, for Alistair Overeem, his biggest issues are most certainly going to be what's consistent with his career is his chin. And at this stage of his career, at 39 years old, having taken the damage that he has, is wear and tear that he's had on his body. For Walt, the biggest issues in this fight is going to be his ground game. How is his ground game going to hold up against Alistair Overeem? And the mental state that he's coming into this fight in, and after everything that he's been through, what condition is he going to be in to be coming into the biggest fight of his career, the first main event fight of his career, against a guy as dangerous as Alistair Overeem? How will he perform? How will he truly perform? The X factor for Alistair Overeem is going to be his well-rounded game, and the X factor for Walt is going to be his freshness in terms of game, fight mileage. And also, is he coming into this fight with some extra motivation? I don't know. Let's get into my prediction. On the feet, I believe that Alistair Overeem enjoys an advantage, and on the ground, he enjoys a vast advantage. He's also vastly more experienced than Walt. But still, that doesn't really tell the story of the fight. I find it hard to pick Alistair Overeem just based on that. What's interesting to me is that Walt is a dynamic striker. He hits very, very hard. He's got fast reflexes, and at 36 years old, he still looks young as a 29-year-old. Alistair Overeem, on the other hand, has shown real signs of slowing down, and his chin has been cracked more than once by fighters a lot inferior than Walt Harris and a lot inferior than Alistair Overeem in particular, who have been able to get the wins over Alistair Overeem. So where does that put Walt Harris? What's going to be really difficult to gauge is the intangible or invariable, thought that what's going on with Walt Harris's mind. Where is his mind at in this fight? What's his heart thinking? What's going through his mind? Where is his heart? What's he feeling right now? That's very, very hard to put a finger on it and pinpoint just how that's going to impact Alistair Overeem in this fight. I do believe that will have some kind of, Walt Harris in this fight. I do believe that will have some impact, but I believe it's going to be positive. When you're going through some difficult times in life, the best things you can do is find your solitary in the gym, work out those emotions on the bag, and Walt Harris being the killer that he is, it's very, very important to note that he's going to have taken a lot of that frustration out in the gym. Is he going to have improved? I don't know, but I do know he's going to be coming into this fight with some extra motivation. Think back to Buster Douglas when he beat Mike Tyson, when he had the best performance of his career, when he took out the indestructible Iron Mike Tyson. That was on the back of him losing his mother, and he was coming in with a heavy heart, and he used that as motivation to be able to dig through and truly get through and beat Mike Tyson and give him the first loss of his career. Now, Alistair Overeem is not Mike Tyson at this stage of his career, but nor is Walt Harris, Buster Douglas. But the analogy stands. I believe that he's going to use the motivation. I believe that he's going to have a lot of trouble with the crafty veteran that is Alistair Overeem. I believe he's going to have to utilize every skill in his arsenal. Alistair Overeem will probably outstrike him. Alistair Overeem will probably outgrapple him throughout the fight. But at some point, Walt Harris should explode. And when he explodes and finds Alistair Overeem's chin, I believe that's going to be all she wrote. So fight fans, for my official prediction, I'm predicting that Walt Harris will finish Alistair Overeem in this fight, and thoughts and prayers go out to him and his family in what must be a continuing tough time. Stuff like this doesn't just get dealt with overnight, so I wish him the best. Anyways, fight fans, thank you for tuning in. Let me know if you're enjoying this new setup and format, and let me know what you think about this fight and how you see it going for whenever it does get rescheduled. Thank you for watching, guys. As always, I'm Rohan. This is Mindful Combat, and remember to like, subscribe, share, all that jazz. Thank you.